What's going on, everyone? You are welcome to Web Chrony Online YouTube channel. Today I'm so excited because we are going to design this incredible web page. This is the Facebook landing page if the user is not logged in. The design is very simple and it looks pretty awesome, and today you and I are going to design this web page again. So I have already done something and this is the result that I obtained. The colors and the pixels are not perfect, but at least it looks pretty awesome, and that is what we are going to do today. Since you already know what to do if you are not subscribed to the channel, let the tutorial begin. Okay guys, so let me quickly bring out my Visual Studio Code and then let's begin. So I'll move into the Explorer. I already have my FB CSS, FB HTML, so I'll create this time around, call it facebook.html, and I will also create the facebook.css like this. So I'll come here and use the email to bring in the template. I'm going to call this one Web Chrony Facebook redesign. I'm going to link my CSS file, so I'll also click on the go live so that I can show my browser like this. For the sake of what we are going to do, we cannot show both the browser and the code editor at the same time, so we will be alternating as and when we need to see what is happening right there. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'll have a main container, and inside the main container I'll have a sub container, and inside the sub container I'll have a left container, a right container, and a footer. Okay, so let's do that. So I'll come here and then create my main container. We are using the emmet, and inside the main container I'll create my sub container, and inside the sub container I'll create my left container, I'll also create the right container, so right container. Okay, great. So inside the left container I will create a sub container which will contain the text. So I'll say dot left sub container, and inside the left sub container I'll have my h1 and I'll give it a class name of logo test, and I'll say Facebook. Then after the closing tag of the h1 I'll create an h2 that would say intro test, something like this. And I think I should just copy and paste the things here in order to save us some time. So we have it right there. Now we are done with the left part. Let's look at what we have done so far. Okay, it doesn't look anything like what we are doing, but don't worry, as time goes on it will appear like that. So let me get back to the redesigned version, and inside the right container I'll first of all have my login container, and inside the login container I will have my input, and the input will have a class name of login input, and I'll have some placeholder. So the placeholder says, let's look at it, email or phone number. So email or phone number. Then we will create another one. I'll press Shift Alt and then down arrow to duplicate the input element. I'll also have my password here. The type should also be password. Great. Now we will have a button. Okay, so I'll create a button and I'll give this a class name of login btn, and it will have the text log in. So let's look at it again. After that, there is a text here which says forgot password, and then there is a line here and then another button. So let's do that. So I'll use span for this test, and I'll call this one login test, and I'll say forgot password, and then I'll have my HR here, and under the HR I'll have my second button, and I'll call this one create btn. Then I'll say create new account. Let's look at it. Yeah, create new account, and under the login container there is this text here. Let me copy it. So under this one I'll come here and I'll create a span, and I'll call this one create page test, and I'll paste this one, but this one will be a link, so I'll just cut this one, create an anchor tag, and I'll say create page link like this, and I'll paste this one right here. So let's look at what we have done so far. Okay, cool. I think we should begin styling them. Okay guys, so for the sake of what we are going to do, I want to split my Visual Studio Code into two. So I'll click on this facebook.css and then click on this icon to split the screen into two. So I'll have my HTML on one side and CSS on another side. So what I'm going to do at the beginning of the CSS is to have a default style for all the elements. Okay, so first of all I'll set the padding to 0. I will also set the margin to 0. Then I will also give a box sizing of border box, so that when we add padding it will be calculated inside the height and width that we give to a particular element. Great. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is that, as you can see, there's this text here which is underlined. I don't want it to be there, so I'm going to set text decoration to none. Okay, then also I'm going to make the color, well, the color, I should make the color black. The color should be black. And then I want a font family of sans serif, so that the text will look great. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to start the main container. Okay, so the main container is right here, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set a height of 100 view height like this. I'll give it a background color, but I just want to be copying the colors from the one that we have already done. So background color. Okay, so this is the color. Background color. Okay, good. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to put everything in the center. So I'll set display flex, align items center, and then justify content center like this. So everything is in the middle now. Great. I think that will be all for this one. As and when we need to come back, we will get back to it. Now let's move on to the sub container. So inside the sub container, I'll also give it a display of flex, and let's see. Great. And then I will give a gap of 40 pixels. Okay, the gap has been created, and I think I will also give justify content center, but then with the align items I'll set it to start. Okay, cool. Now what I'm going to do next is to start the left container, the left sub container, and the rest. So let's begin with the left container right here. I'll bring my left container. I'll set the display to flex. I'll set the justify content center, align items center, like this. Let's see what's going on. Great. So what I'm going to do next is to start the left sub container. So I'll have it right here. I'll give it a weight of 400 pixels. Let's see. Good. We will get back to it as and when we need. Now let's start the logo text. So I'll copy the logo text right here. I'll give it a font size of, let's say, 55 pixels, and we will change the color. I'll be copying the color from the one that we have done so far. So this will be the color. So let's look at what we have. That's very good. I'll give it a margin bottom of about 12 pixels, like this. Good. Now the next thing that we are going to style is this text right here. So intro text. I'll give the intro text a font size of, let's say, 28 pixels. Of course, the text is very bold, so I'll change the font weight. So font weight of, let's set it to 300. Okay, I think this is good. Let's compare to the original one. I think still the text is quite big, so 28 is too much. Let's reduce it to about 24, and let's see. Okay, 24 looks awesome. That's okay. Now let's move on to the right container. So I have my right container here. I'll set the display to flex. I'll set the align items to center, and I'll also set the justify content to center. Now let's see what is happening. So you have to change the flex direction. Okay, so I'll set flex direction to column, like this. Good. Now it's time to style the login container. So I'll copy the login container right here, and then I'll also set the display to flex, the flex direction to column, like this. Let's see. Okay, I think this is good. I'll also give it a weight of 400 pixels, so weight 400, like this. Good. Now let me also give some padding of 20 pixels. The background color is supposed to be white, so background color to white, like this. All right, we'll get back to it in a moment. Now let's move on to the login inputs. I'll copy my login input here and then paste it right here. So I'll give the login input a height of 40 pixels. I'll give it a padding of 10 pixels. Let's see. Okay, I think we should make it 45, and then we should give it a margin of 10 pixels, but we want it only at the top and bottom, so like this. Okay, hey, I think this is good. We should give it a border radius. So border radius of 5 pixels, and then okay, the border is quite deep. We want it to be light. Let's look at the original one. Okay, so and what we did, so we should change the border. So I'll set border to 1 pixels solid gray, like this. I think this is okay. And then the outline, let's take a look at the original Facebook. When you click, the outline is blue. Okay, so I just copy the login input once again, and this will happen when the input is on focus. So on focus, I'll set the outline to this color. So let's see. Good. So once you select it, the color will come like this. It looks awesome, right? Good. Now let's move on to the login btn. So login btn is here. Let's copy like this. We paste this one here. I'll give it a height of 45 pixels. I'll give it a padding of 10 pixels. The color of the text should be white. The text should be transformed to capitalize. So text transform to capitalize. I'll change the font size to about 18 pixels. I'll change the background color. I want it to have this background color. I'll change the font weight, so font weight of 600. I want the cursor to be pointer, so cursor set to pointer like this. Now let's see. Well, I don't like the border. Okay, so I should remove the border and also give it a border radius. So I'll set border to none, and then border radius, I'll set border radius to 5 pixels like this. Okay, it looks better now. I think I should also give it some margin top and bottom. So I'll set margin to 10 pixels like this, but I don't want it on the side like this. Okay, it looks better now. Okay, now let's move on to this text right here. So this text has a class name of login text. So let's copy it right here and paste it. And the login text, let's center it. So text align center. Let's see. Yes, it has been centered. I will give it a margin of 10 pixels like this, and I'll change the color to this. Let's see. Okay, let's look at the original one. When you hover on it, it will be, the text will be underlined. Okay, so this one should be capitalized. Let's do this manually, and then let's copy this thing right here and then bring it back, and then bring hover. That's a pseudo class, and once we are hovered, we will decorate the text. So text decoration will be set to underline like this. Yeah, it's good. Great. Now let's move on to the create button. So I'll come here and get the create btn and then paste it right here. So with the create btn, I'll set the width to fit content. I'll remove the border. I'll set it to none. Then I'll give a padding of 10 pixels, I'll set the border radius to 5 pixels. I'll change the color. Let me look at the original one. Original color is white. Okay, good. So I'll change the color to white. I'll change the font width to 600, and I'll change the background color. Okay, so this is the background color. The cursor should be pointer as well. Okay, good. But then I'll change the font size and also bring it here. So let's do this. So let's change the font size to about 22 pixels, and I want it to be centered. So align self. Okay, so this time around, not align items but align self will be set to the center. Good. I should give it a margin, or well, this is too big, let's make it 18, and let's give it margin of 10 pixels like this. Let's look at the original one. I think 10 pixels is too small, but it's okay. We will style the HR here. HR, where are you? There's supposed to be an HR somewhere here. Good. So it's here. So let me bring it up here. I'll bring the HR, because there is no class. I'll just type the HR, no name. Now the HR should have a width and a height. Okay, but at the moment it's taking the 100. Let's look at the original, what we are doing. Okay, let's look at the original one. It's very faint. Okay, so I will set background. So background color of, let's set it to 555. Let's see. This is fine, and you should also have some margin top and bottom. So margin of 10 pixels is fine. I don't want it on the left and right. This is also nice. Great. So now that we have created this form, I think we should give border radius to the login container. So I'll get back to the login container and then set my border radius to, let's say, 10 pixels. Let's try 10C. Well, 10 is fine, but yeah, 10 is fine. Yeah, 10 is fine. Great. And I should also give it a margin bottom of about 10. Let's look at the original one. Okay, 10 or 20. So margin bottom of 20 pixels is fine. Good. Now let's take a look at something here. It looks like there is some kind of shadow around the input. Okay, there is this website called cssmatic.com/box sizing. Okay, when you get there, you can just manipulate this one. In the meantime, I've already done this. I'll copy it from here and then paste it inside the style for the login container. So I'll paste it right here. I'll show you how to use it in a moment, but let's see what we have done so far. So as you can see, we have this amazing shadow around it. So now back to this place. So what is going on here is that we have a container like this. You can change the color here. You can click here to change the color, and as you can see, the color has changed. You can also manipulate this one anyhow you want. You can also do this. You can do this. Okay, and then this. Okay, then you can also change the opacity. So when you do it and then you achieve the result that you want, then of course you copy it from here and then you paste it inside the containers style. Okay, so I think we are done with this. We can say goodbye to it. Great. So this is what we have done so far. It's cool, right? Great. So now let's work on this. one right here. Let's take a look at the font size. And okay, so let's come here. Now we called this one create page link. Okay, so I'll bring it down here and then I'll paste it here. I think the font size is okay, and then the font weight is also okay, but then it is only the link that we are going to style. So the link will have a font weight of 600. Let's see. Okay, this is fine. And on the original page, when you hover on it, it should be underlined. So let's do same for this one. I'll copy this one here and of course paste it down here. Bring my pseudo class and then say hover. I want to decorate the text, so text decoration, I'll set it to underline like this. So once I hover on it, the text has been underlined. Okay, great. Now let's take a look at something here. This and this are starting at the same place, but when you take a look at here, this one is a bit down, and of course the space between this and this is quite wide. So let's do that correction now. So I'll come to the container where I set the gap, and I'll increase the gap to about 60. Let's see if 60 will work fine for us. Then maybe 80 should be fine. Okay, I think 80 is okay. And then the inside this left sub container, I'll give a margin top of about 100 pixels. Let's see. 100 pixels is too much. Let's make it about 60. I think 60 is okay. When you compare, 60 is okay. Still the distance here is quite huge as compared to ours, so I should come back to the gap and set it to 120. Let's see. Okay, I think 120 is cool. Yeah, great. So now we will move on to the footer. Okay guys, so before we move on to the footer, let's take a look at something here. So inside the footer, we have the top one, we have the middle one, and then the copyright. Okay, so that is what we are going to do now. So inside the HTML, after everything right here, I'll create my footer like this. Inside the footer, I'll create a div called footer top. And inside the footer top, in fact, there are so many things. I don't think I want to waste your time, so I'll just copy what I already did and paste it right here. Okay, so I'll come here, open this one, and then I'll copy everything. Footer top, let me just paste it right here. Okay, this is fine. I'll also do same for the footer middle like this. So I'll copy the whole of this and then paste it right here. We'll get back to it and then we'll see, we will style them to see what is happening. Let's create our copyright. So I'll give it a class name of copyright, and then I'll type this ampersand followed by the word copy, and then I'll bring the semicolon to give us the copyright symbol, and I'll say 2023. We should bring our name, so web crony. Let's see. Okay, everything is is scattered, but don't worry, we'll style it and make it nice. Okay guys, so now let's start by styling the footer container, and afterwards we will start the sub element in it. So I'll come here, I'll bring the footer. Don't forget that this is not a class name, so you just type the footer. I'll give it a width of about 940 pixels, and then I'll set display to flex. The flex direction should be column like this. So let's see what is happening here. It should be in the center, so I'll set margin auto like this so that it will be centered for me. Great, this is nice. Now we should give it some padding. So padding, let's set padding to 20 pixels, and the left and right should be 0. Great. Let's begin by styling the footer top. Okay, so footer top, let me expand it like this. Inside the footer top we have links. Okay, so I'll just copy this one here and paste it right here. I'll have my display flex, I'll have my AIC center, and then I'll set flex wrap to wrap, and then I'll also set a gap of 12 pixels between the links. Okay, so let's see. Okay, cool. But then if I hover on it, I want the text to be underlined. Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll copy the footer link right here, and then I will bring my pseudo class, which is hover, and then I'll say text decoration to underline. Okay, but let's take a look at what is happening here. The text color is not dark black, so I'll change the color. Footer link, change the color to 555. I will also change the font width to 300. I'll change the font size to 12 pixels. Let's see. Okay, this is good. Great. And then there is this button here. Let me show it to you in the code. It's a span, not a button, and it has a class name of plus. So let me show you the original one so that you know what we are going to do. This is it. It has a border, a background color, and then the plus sign is also kind of thick. So let's do that. So dot plus, I'll give it a background color of this. The color will be black. The font width will be around 800. Let's see. And it has a border. Okay, so let's set the border of 1 pixels solid gray. Let's see. Well, we should make this one quite light, so something like this is fine. Let's bring this thing somewhere here. This is fine. And let's also make this one a bit dark, like this should be fine. So let's see. Okay, good. Now we should give it some padding. So the padding, the top and down will be about 2 pixels. The left and right should be around 10 pixels. Let's see. This is quite okay. I think we should change the left, what do you call it? This one should be 0. This is fine. This is okay. The color should be light gray, so we should come here and also change the opacity. This is okay. I should also increase the font size, so I'll set the font size to 22 pixels. Let's see if 22 pixels is okay. Oops. Font size, not flex. Font size 22 pixels. Okay. This is fine. I think we should change this one to about 8 pixels, and we should also change the cursor to pointer. It's not pretty close to what we have here. I think we should. This one must be an icon, but then at the moment we are not doing any icon. That's why. That's just by the way. Let's move on. Then of course there is this line here. There's this border here. Okay. I'll set it to this one, the footer middle. So let's come to the footer middle. Footer middle. So the footer middle, I also have. Let me copy everything right here and paste here, and then I'll give it a border top. So border top of 1 pixel solid gray. Let's make it light gray. Okay, good. Then we should give it some margin at the top. So margin top of about 14 pixels should be fine. Great. Then inside it we should give it a padding top of, let's say, 15 pixels. Okay, good. Let's look at the original one. This is not bad. This is not bad. Great. I think the padding shouldn't just be the top, it should be the top and bottom. So let me make here 0 like this and here 15. Then let's look at the original one. Let's change the font size and then the color. So let's look at our original one. So we will copy right here. We give it a font size of 12 pixels, and then the color should also be gray, something like this. Let's see the color that, okay, this is 555. This is perfect. Great. So Charlie, what do you think? We have designed our Facebook. What do you think? Let's compare to the original one. We didn't add icons, and this one doesn't look pretty nice to me. Let's compare this to what I already did. Okay, I didn't give this any border, but then let's see if we can do something about it. Yeah, I think we have tried. Okay guys, so this is where we end it off for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a thing or two. If you did, kindly leave a like on this video. If you are not subscribed, kindly click on the subscribe button because there are more incredible content coming up. And let me know what you want us to design next in the comment section. I'll see you with another tutorial. Until then, peace out.